Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be making the supports for the short side of the desk, so kick back and enjoy. So here's the other one. This was going to be for the longer side of the L because it is deeper, and I knew going into this that this side might not come out perfectly, and I've determined that I can't use this piece at all because of how out of square it is and how warped the pieces were. And I knew when I was first creating it that the pieces might end up like this. I was hoping that they wouldn't, but apparently they did, because the 2x4 that I used was just so warped and bended and it was just garbage. I shouldn't have used it, but I decided to try to get a quick fix and it didn't work out. So I'm going to scrap this and then probably end up just going with my original idea, which I strayed away from for time's sake, but I'll probably need to just come back to. So yeah, I also wanted to show you guys this so that I could explain this one a little bit further. So I took the router and I routed out a channel, and then I took, as I said, that cut down 2x4, which is about an inch or an inch and a half, and I just cut it to length and then pocket screwed it from the inside, which would be behind this board. And I did that so that on the reverse there would be no screws or holes or anything like that poking through, and it would just look like it was just a nice piece of wood. And then I just threw some glue along the channel and then along the ripped down 2x4, inserted this plate, or I guess just piece of wood, which I cut out of a full sheet of 1/8 inch plywood, and then I just clamped everything down, and I cut it a little bit undersized, knowing that my routing skills aren't the best, and also just for a little bit of expansion if the glue were to whatever. Here it is. I'm going to sand this down, throw in another coat of primer, wait till that dries, sand that down, and then I'm going to paint it black. So yeah, let's get into it. After priming it twice, I then hit the piece with a 220 grit piece of sandpaper to prepare it for painting, and then applied a couple coats of a matte black paint. From there, I cut down a piece of 2x4 to the same length as the top of the panel leg and drilled 3 holes in it, although I only ended up using the most right and most left hole because the center brace of the leg interfered with the hole placement in the middle. I then used a 1-inch Forstner bit to create a channel for a T-nut, and then finished drilling through it with a 5/8 drill bit. I then switched over back to the panel leg and drilled the same holes for the bolts to go through. After inserting the T-nut, I used 3 small screws to go right next to the teeth just to lock everything into place. I then took the small side of the desk and used masking tape under it just so I could mark out the placement for this panel leg. After marking it out, I was able to take the top piece off, get everything lined up, and then drill some holes for screws that were 2 inches long so that they went all the way through the 2x4 and then a 1/4 inch into the top of the desk. With the panel leg done, I had Nicole cut down a 2x6 and a 2x4 down to 27 5/8 inches long. I then scored everything up and then pre-drilled some holes, countersunk them, and then drove in some long 3-inch screws. From there, I sanded everything down with an 80 grit sandpaper and then went to 120, and then I applied some wood filler along the curved groove that the 2x4 met the 2x6 at. After sanding, priming, painting, and polying all of these pieces, I started to attach a perpendicular piece using pocket holes, which would hold this corner brace to the desk. I had 2 squares, so I inserted a T-nut into the top one and then drilled out the holes for the bolt through the bottom one and the bottom of the top one. Are you following me? Again, locking it in with small screws, and then I used some double-sided sticky tape to find where the top piece needed to stay on the bottom of the desk. Drilled that in, again using 2-inch screws, and then put the bolt in. So if you're enjoying this series, please check out the next video of me finishing the supports for the long side of the desk. As always, thanks for watching and have a good one.